Alright, so the significance of this project is to contribute to the knowledge of talent identification within the Asia-Pacific region. To date, there's very little research in this area, and as far as I know, little research or no research has been conducted on this in Papua New Guinea. So the main outcome of this research is that it may allow government organisations such as the Papua New Guinea Sports Foundation to identify and develop new talent. Again, referring back to that talent hotspot map that we're trying to make. So for example, even though we do a lot of our testing in Port Moresby, if we find that the athletes or participants who have very high levels of aerobic endurance are from WEWAC, their parents are from WEWAC, we can actually trace the talent back to where it originally came from. So in terms of development, specialised coaching, all that sort of stuff. So the way we get our participants, Group A for this project, we've got 500 athletes, so these are ranging from club to provincial to national level, and we've also got 1,000 youth athletes who engage with us through our talent identification in secondary schools program. All of these participants will go through the same testing protocols, which take approximately 2 hours, age range between 14 and 40 years old, and it's all completed within high performance approved locations. So the methodology during these testing sessions, we get our participants to fill out their consent forms and complete a heritage questionnaire before undergoing anthropometric measurements and finishing with fitness testing. The questionnaire is very simple and easy to translate into most languages. Where were you born? Where did you spend most of your childhood? Where do you currently live and how long have you lived there? Where was your mother born and where was your father born? So all very easy to answer as well. After that we get the anthropometric measurements, so all non-invasive. We have measurements such as height, seated height, weight and arm span. Following this, participants complete a standardized warm-up before we test them for attributes such as flexibility, upper and lower body power, agility, sprint speed, local muscular endurance, and aerobic capacity to finish off. So once we have all this data together, we group it together and define it by region. So the 4 regions already defined in Papua New Guinea of Southern, Highlands, Mamase, and the Guinea Islands. We put all the data through dummy coding as well before putting it through regression analysis. So the results to date so far, we've tested over 680 participants, including 55 national athletes, 190 provincial level athletes, and 435 youth athletes. The table you'll see displayed here, it's just an example of how we display some of the data. So we usually do, for each attribute, the mean plus minus standard deviation. Alright, so the map you can see up here is the participant heritage map. So each of these little circles you see jotted on the map there represents 2% of our sample, and each of the semicircles on there 1%. So as you can see with the larger circles, there's a lot of the sample sizes are around NCD and Morobay, and that's just because that's where the high performance centres are. So when we're collecting data, we expect there to be a lot of participants coming from those areas. You'll also see a fair few of those small dots around West New Britain, and that's because during the 2017 PNG Games, we're doing testing outside there in Kid Bay as well. The only thing I'll point out really from this map, if you look at the NCD figure there, you'll see that the mother's birth province and the father's birth province are actually quite low compared to the residential province and childhood province. So what this might indicate to us is that parents are moving here and raising their children here. So we might be finding all these amazing athletes in Port Moresby, when in reality, the reason they're that good at that particular sport is because their parents came from somewhere else. So that's why we're trying to trace it back to where it actually comes from. So these are some of the results to date. This is for Team Sundown, who were lucky enough to test during the 2017 PNG Games in Kidbay. So what this pretty much tells us, or the results we've gone through so far, is that if your father was born in that province, your mother, or you currently live there, we expect you to be a little bit faster than everyone else. Yeah. I know it only says there for the 20-meter sprint for the father's birth province, 0.32 of a second, but when you're talking about sprint speed, that actually adds up to quite a bit. The second one I'll point out really quickly is that of West New Britain. We found significant differences for this province in medicine ball throw, which is your upper body power, sit and reach, which is flexibility, and your 5-meter sprint, which is obviously speed. The main one I want to focus on here is all the positive results there for the flexibility. So people from West New Britain typically are more flexible than participants from other regions. Excuse me. So in summary, there may be a relationship between region of origin, anthropometric, and athletic performance of Papua New Guineans. However, this is a work in progress. The projected number of participants is going to be over 1,200. We were hoping for 1,500, but I'm running out of time and I have to submit the results by August. So, just really quickly, sorry, I'm a bit crook. So why does this all matter? matter. The short and medium term impact. So in 2018, like I said before, I work in conjunction with High Performance Sport Papua New Guinea. We run a secondary schools talent identification program. In this program, we're testing about 1,000 students per term between here and Ley, so where our other high performance centre is. They come in, do all the testing that I was talking about before for my research. If we get the consent from their parents, I use it for my research. But we also compare their results to benchmarks we set based off national athletes. So if we find any outstanding participants, we can get them into development programs. When they also come in for the testing, we engage them with education sessions as well. So our lifestyle performance team focuses on topics such as hydration, nutrition, leadership and growth mindset. And we also have an external facilitator come in to join us, which include the Cancer Foundation Papua New Guinea, the Australian Federal Police, NCDC Youth Desk, and a whole lot more. So we don't focus on topics you necessarily learn in school, but they are topics we think are important for raising our young citizens and athletes as well. So the long-term impacts, like I was saying before and I've said multiple times, trying to create that talent hotspot map of PNG. So rather than just focusing, say, on Port Moresby and Ley all the time, if we know there's certain athletes in a certain area that are more geared towards one sport, we can develop coaches in those areas specifically, and hopefully infrastructure will follow. Just something I put up there last night, but I call this the pursuit of medals. So between the 2012 and 2016 Olympics, in England they spent approximately £5.5 million per medal. So every medal won cost them about that much. In Australia, in preparation for the 2016 Olympics, we spent 11.4 million Aussie per medal and 41.5 million gold. And that's just spending through the AIS itself. It doesn't include local infrastructure or state infrastructure that was built during those times. So when you compare that to Kenya, obviously it's even more. So the idea, again, of having this talent hotspot map is rather than just throwing money and seeing where it will stick, we can actually delegate it to places that need it. References, and yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kieran. That was a really interesting presentation, and I'm wondering how many of you in the audience are thinking about what you might want to do to make sure that one of your community or boo end up as part of the hunters. So thank you. I'm very conscious of time. I know that the final main session is starting in just a few minutes, but before we close, I wondered whether or not there was anyone in the audience who would like to ask any of our wonderful speakers a question before we close.